Thank you, Bruce, for that introduction. As he mentioned, my name is Gill Smith, and I'm a member of the Legislative Committee for the Berks County Patriots. I would like to thank everyone for coming to tonight's meeting. And as you all know, tonight's topic is immigration. And before I start, we want everyone to know that we here are all for legal immigration.
Sure.
Yeah.
Using the laws already on the books and going through the process properly and legally to become a citizen of the United States of America. I also want to add that by no means am I an expert on this subject. I'm here to educate this group and also myself what is going on in this country. With that said, as a nation, we have a serious problem with illegal immigration, or as they would like it to be called, an undocumented immigration. So what is the definition of illegal? Per Webster's dictionary, it is contrary to or forbidden by law. So the definition of an illegal immigrant would be an alien, non-citizen, who has entered the United States without government permission or stayed beyond the termination date of a visa. Thus, a lot of the issues and problems being created by this illegal problem are not being brought to the attention of the population. It's being kept quiet. The major news media organizations do not broadcast it. So unless you are internet savvy, you will not see it. Yes, things are slowly seeping through the cracks, but very slowly, and the damage in many cases has already been done. Just go on the internet and research immigration, amnesty, or illegal immigration, and you will be amazed at what you can find. It will explode before your eyes. Just putting this together, I have 41 sources. That's where I stopped, because I could have kept going. Tonight, I'm going to try and bring just some things to your attention, hopefully piquing your interest in this issue, and then you will go home and do your own research. This way, you can see and read exactly what is going on with just this one issue. But then you will realize how far-reaching this illegal immigration problem can stretch, and how many different ways it can affect aspects of your everyday life. The America we all grew up knowing has changed dramatically since we were kids. It has been a slow but steady change over the past 30 years. But the past 6 years since Obama's election has been the most damaging. And it is only going to continue to get worse unless something is done, and done now. We need to get this country back on track so we can preserve a future for ourselves, our kids, and our grandkids. Okay, so let's start with some current illegal immigration law facts. The first time an illegal immigrant is caught in the U.S., it is a misdemeanor civil offense. After the first offense, being caught a second time is a felony. It is illegal to bring illegal aliens into the U.S. under current laws. The fine is $3,000 per each alien. It is illegal to harbor illegal immigrants. The fine is $3,000 for each alien. So a little joke on the side here. So using Obama's figures of 5.5 million illegals, the president should be fined $16.5 billion.
The real number, 20 million.
I'll get to that soon enough. It's illegal to employ, recruit, or refer illegal aliens for jobs. Numerous fines and imprisonment for up to 10 years. It is illegal to aid or abet illegal immigrants, fine and imprisonment. Now, legal immigrants must know English, U.S. history, U.S. laws, and principles. Legal immigrants must display moral character and no crime record. Legal immigrants must be investigated and screened for past crimes and terrorism links. It is illegal for legal aliens to bypass medical and physical exams for illnesses and infectious diseases. Legal aliens deported are ineligible for readmission to the U.S. under current laws. It is illegal for illegal immigrants to possess a firearm or ammunition. These are all items taken directly from the current immigration laws. How many of these are being circumvented by Obama's amnesty? So let's start with Obama's immigration amnesty executive order. On November 20th, 2014, the president announced a series of executive actions to crack down on illegal immigration at the border, prioritize deporting felons, not families, and require certain undocumented immigrants to pass a criminal background check and pay taxes in order to temporarily stay in the U.S. without fear of deportation. The government's estimates put the number of these people that this will cover at approximately 5.5 million. Many sources on the internet put this figure closer to 11 million. And that's if they sign up for it. Many came here illegally and will stay that way. Many are paid under the table, pay no taxes, and ship a lot of the money back to their native country. And that is just the start. With this in place, there's more to come. Word has gotten out around the world that President Obama's lax immigration enforcement policies, and it has encouraged more people to come to the United States illegally. Many expect illegal immigration to surge again in 2015. Everyone knows that Obama is not enforcing immigration laws. They know the U.S. is not deporting illegal alien children. So their rational response is to send even more. The Center of Immigration Studies summarized interviews with 230 of these migrants who stated they came here to take advantage of the new U.S. law that grants a free pass or permit. And if immigration continues at current levels, the nation's population will increase from 301 million today to 468 million in 2060. A 167 million or a 56% increase. Amnesty for illegal immigrants will cause costs to increase significantly from $10.4 billion a year to $28.8 billion a year. This is because an amnesty program would transform an illegal immigrant to an unskilled immigrant with legal status, who can access various government programs. However, due to low income, these unskilled immigrants with legal status would likely pay very modest tax payments for the Center for Immigration Studies. Then you add what's been happening recently. Illegals are eligible for a $24,000 tax credit / refund for the last 3 years, even though they may not even pay taxes. Automatically renewing work permits, rolling back education requirements and anti-fraud measures. Healthcare, Social Security, eligible for all benefits that U.S. citizens would be eligible for, short of voting, at least for now. So most people will look at this and say, it's a federal problem. They need to find a solution. Not my problem. Does not affect me. But unfortunately, it's a problem for us all, whether it's federal, state, or local. And if you are a citizen of the United States, then all these areas affect you. Have you heard of the trickle-down effect? Well, it would apply here. Initially, it starts as a federal problem. Costs the border, attempting to protect the border. Then, once detained, costs to house them, feed them, clothe them, attend to any medical issues. Then there's the transportation to where they are being sent. Court costs determine their status. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder has even announced the administration would pay 100 lawyers to help young illegals remain in the States. President Obama is seeking $3.7 billion appropriation for more immigration judges and detention facilities. So who's paying for all this? The federal taxpayer, which would be you and me. Once through immigration court system, and if they are deemed wards of the court, that's where it trickles down. It was estimated that 60,000 children were sent up in the United States in 2014. And that number is expected to more than double to 130,000 in 2015. That adds up to 250,000 of unattended minor illegal aliens in a 2-year period alone. I had a meeting with Congressman Charles Dent on December 16, 2014. We discussed numerous issues pertaining to this, especially the local efforts organizations like Kids Peace and Bethany Children's Home, which is located outside of Reading. And also the SIJS program, which stands for Special Immigrant Juvenile Status. Special Immigrant Juvenile Status is a federal law that assists undocumented children to obtain legal, permanent residency. In order to qualify for SIJS status, the child must have a Berks County court declare that he or she is a court dependent. These court costs are absorbed by local taxpayers. Becoming a court dependent makes the child eligible for long-term foster care, which according to the law means that parental unification is not possible. Next, the dependent child must submit an application to the Immigration and Naturalization Service, which takes 6 to 18 months to process. If the illegal immigrant successfully achieves SIJS status, he or she may remain in the United States, work legally, qualify for in-state tuition at college, and in 5 years apply for U.S. citizenship. So I guess this means they are to remain in foster care until they are adult. Congressman Dent was dismissive of this, claiming the costs would all be through the federal system and not the local tax system, and that no aliens had been placed locally. But if you look at the trend occurring across the country, this is happening. And once the illegals are categorized as dependents of the state, either through Kids Peace effort or SIJS, then they become our burden. Currently, Kids Peace in Bethlehem is running an ad in the Reading Eagle, actively looking for sponsors and foster families. So one example, both county and local, would be educating people. With the cost per student in Berks County ranging from $7,903 to $23,900 per student. Estimates for initial costs for next year's school term are to be $10.67 million for just Pennsylvania. Costs increase in the schools due to the students not speaking English. They will require special limited English proficient classes conducted in Spanish or in the other languages needed. As well, they will need other taxpayer-funded services such as free and reduced school meals. The cost of educating these students who do not speak English is at least 30% higher than teaching students who speak English fluently. Other challenges are finding bilingual teachers, aides, etc. Again, you ask, how does this affect me? Well, if these costs are going up, the school district will need more money. That's not coming from the federal government. So they will raise property taxes to cover the shortage. So that hits your pocketbook directly, even if you don't have any children in school. And property taxes are way too high now. Another example would be local employment. Illegal immigration is causing wage stagnation. As stated by former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum on CNN's State of the Union in January of this year, illegal immigration is hurting the wages of Americans as immigrants come into the country willing to work for less and low-skilled jobs. There are fewer Americans working today who were born in America than there were 15 years ago. All jobs are being created are going to the people who were not born here. Employers are being encouraged to hire illegal immigrants over citizens because there would not be a health care penalty if they do not offer that immigrant hire health care. It must be offered to a legal immigrant or citizen, or a penalty is imposed. That penalty is $3,000 per person. So it becomes an economic decision for the employer, rather than hiring the best qualified applicant. And with an unemployment rate in the U.S. of 5.7% for December of 2014, now the effective unemployment rate, including people no longer looking for employment, actually 14.6. This issue will come to stay stagnant and get worse. I have no problem with people needing to work, to support their families. They just need to be here legally. and speaking from personal experience, with my wife looking for work over a 5-year period and finally being able to find part-time work. We have to make our concentration of attention on our citizens first, which also includes our veterans, which again is another subject for a different day. More and more of our resources are being used on these legal immigrants, so other needs are being ignored or dismissed. What I've talked about up to this point is just the tip of the iceberg. Once you add the increase in crime, the health issues, where we are seeing diseases that at one point were eradicated from this country, and the risks and costs associated with both, it is just taxing all the systems all at the same time. Social Security, welfare, health care, education, immigration system, court systems. And Pennsylvania is third in the country in the rise of illegal immigrant population. Illegal immigrants collectively represent a group that is a significant menace to the public. 80% have committed serious crimes in addition to immigration violations, and 40% have violent crime histories. Examples of headlines of current crimes committed by illegals. Illegal aliens released by federal government committed 19 murders, 142 sex crimes. 13-year-old raped by more than a dozen illegal aliens in Texas. Illegal alien charged with molesting 10-year-old girl in North Carolina. Illegal alien rapes, beats, and kills elderly woman and then is found naked, passed out on top of her corpse. Illegal alien charged with raping child in North Carolina. Illegal alien dragged paralyzed woman from her wheelchair, raped her. Man charged with human trafficking. Illegal alien charged with raping a man in Florida. And it goes on and on and on. And you will not find any of these on mainstream media. Law enforcement hands are basically handcuffed from doing their jobs due to racial profile thinking and racist accusations. Berks County Sheriff Eric Wiegneck said that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement will not give his department complete clearance to assist in arresting illegal immigrants. The real problem I have is that we have a law. People are breaking it, and we are basically handcuffed from doing our job. They can't confiscate what they know are illegal ID cards. They do not detain them when they are found to be illegal. They are released for a future court date. 59% of those flee the proceedings. A strategy of attrition through enforcement, which includes mandatory workplace verification and measures to curb misuse of Social Security numbers, could reduce the illegal population by as many as 1.5 million illegal immigrants each year for the Center for Immigration Studies. According to Reuters, Pennsylvania has agreed to pay a $48.83 million settlement to settle U.S. government claims that it violated federal law by providing benefits to ineligible aliens under Medicaid and 2 other programs from 2004 to 2010. These programs were to only be used for non-emergency benefits for documented aliens that fall below specified income levels and residency in the country for more than 5 years. Another example of our costs due to the system. And we will be paying that one off until December 31st, 2019. So you ask, what can I do about it? Well, you all took the first step this past November by voting in the people who listened to your concerns and those representatives stating that they would go either to the state legislature or the Washington, D.C. and would correct the issues in the country and with government. Now, I know you're all laughing to yourself at this time, but the voters did prove in 2014 that they care about immigration. In the months leading up to the election, it was clear that Americans were concerned about immigration. No doubt this was fueled and continues to be fueled by the ongoing lawlessness at the border and throughout the country where illegals have been resettled by the government. Americans strongly oppose President Obama's threats to circumvent Congress. Americans' feelings on immigration, that they consider immigration a key issue that they want true immigration reform and that they reject President Obama's immigration policies were confirmed with that election. So you need to hold your representatives, whether local, state, or federal, accountable, especially the newly elected officials who stated they were going to get things back on track. Get the government working properly again. Contact your local school board, especially if they're asking for another tax increase. And don't let them get away with telling you what you want to hear. If you see no action being taken, contact them again. Educate and involve your neighbors. They may be only getting their news from the major networks, and if so, they are only getting a fraction of the news, if that. All else is not reported and is replaced with issues meant to deflect your attention. One official who is with us tonight is Commissioner Mark Scott from Berks County. Back on July 17, 2014, in an interview with WFMZ-TV 69 News, it was stated that the immigration issue dominated the conversation during the weekly Berks County Commissioners meeting. At that time, per Commissioner Scott, they had made aware of the filing for the federal program, Special Juvenile Immigrant Status. Sound familiar? So at that time, the commissioners said they were looking at all their options and seeking legal advice from officials better versed in immigration law. So maybe he can bring us up to date on that juvenile issue and what the county is doing at this time to address these issues, how those issues will affect the residents, and how they can prevent those issues from coming to Berks County. So I'd like to thank you for your time. Hopefully this will make you think and investigate what is going on around you and throughout the country, and promote you to get involved. It is happening all over the country, even in your backyard. Thank you.
If you have some questions, Gill's going to try to answer them. Questions, anybody? Question in the back?
Well, Chris Gill from Township. I just heard tonight that you got 30,000 Syrians coming in, like masquerading, I guess, as refugees.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I understand that there was advertisements in the merchandiser for foster parents for taking care of some of these.
That is also correct.
And I understand that there was like $44 a day compensation to the family that takes them in. Is that correct?
I believe it's actually more than that, because they were estimating the cost at almost $273 per day. $273 per day per person. So they're only, it's a lot more than the 44. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Thank you, Gil. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to make a statement. Back in 1958, those that don't remember, late August 1958, when we had a president, Eisenhower, the illegal problem or the green card problem was getting to be a problem. At that time, it was estimated about 2 million people were here. Eisenhower said, after the growing season, you better return home. If you don't, I'm kicking you out. And you know what? There wasn't a problem in 1959. He took care of it.
Thank you for your comments. Up next is Ron Miller.